Hey everyone. So basically just wanted to get you guys up to speed with one of my projects that I'm working on. This is a Joust, a Williams Joust Cocktail. One of the very rare, or very few cocktails that were done with horizontal monitors. And this one just so happens to be even a little bit more exclusive in that both player 1 and player 2 are on the one side rather than sitting across from each other. So I picked this up actually for a pretty good price. It had a bootleg Bubble Bobble in it, and it's been converted to 8-way joysticks and 2 buttons. So I thought, hey, I really like Joust. I want to put it back to being a Joust. It deserves to be a Joust again. So we're going to clean it up a little bit. Already gone through and pulled out the monitor, pulled out the existing wiring harness that was in there for the Bubble Bobble. This was a bit of a rat's nest. Whoever did this a number of years ago, you know, I'd love to meet the guy and kind of ask him why he did some of the things he did, but you know, it's in the past. So anyway, so I pulled this guy out, and I've gone and built a new JAMA harness for it. I was lucky enough that my board set that I acquired from another local collector has a JAMA harness modification to it. So this is the JAMA harness that was built in with it across the 4-board stack, 4 boards. And it also has a nifty little project box here with the volume, high score reset, advance, auto manual button, that kind of stuff. And so I basically just took one of the out-of-the-box JAMA harnesses, the little $10 ones that you can get from any old arcade shop, and I clipped off the stuff that I didn't need and separated what I did need into bundles. So coin door bundle, player 2, player 1, video, and power. And I'm kind of pre-planned ahead on that, so I knew kind of what I wanted, where I wanted it to go. And I'm going to clip that all up to length once I get it in the cabinet, and then put the proper ends on it. So like put new spade connectors on, put new clips on, or quick disconnects on, that kind of stuff. New video, so we have the proper connector for the monitor that was in it. Speaking of which, here's the monitor that was in it. It's actually a little dirty. It's a little Wells Gardner monitor. So might need some caps. I'm not really sure. Picture on it is great, so I don't really want to touch it until I need to. But the time comes I need to order a cap kit. I'll just hit up Ian Kellogg for one and get that out of the way. So that's kind of that. As far as the parts and everything that I got today for it, we'll kind of go over what some of the shopping that I had to do. So first things first, I wanted to get a new power cord. Anytime I get a game comes in, I want to replace the power cord if it's all beaten up and ratched. This one's not bad. I mean, it's not fraying or anything. But it is, I mean, the plug is a little beaten up and there's some electrical tape on it and it's really old wiring. So I want to get rid of this and I want to put my own on there. So in any electronic shop, or if you go to like a Home Depot, you can also get appliance hookup. So it's what they use for adding a cable onto a dishwasher, as an example. If your dishwasher's got a plug underneath the counter, one of the built-in dishwashers. So that's, you know, or a new appliance, like, you know, if you somehow rip the cable out of whatever appliance that you have, you can actually buy these cords like this. This just so happens to be a really nice 12-footer one that I picked up from one of my local electronic supply companies. So I got that. I got some screws, very similar to the ones that are in there already. These are for attaching the all the little cable connectors as well that I have. It seems that whoever did the modification away from Joust and turned it into a Bubble Bobble, or generic, I guess, removed a bunch of these, and with that a bunch of these screws. I need a bunch of these to mount to the board as well. They're just simple little hex screw, multi-purpose screw. Normally I'll use something with a with like a Phillips or a Robertson head, but I figured everything else in here is hex screw. I actually found some similar ones, similar length and everything. So those will work really well. Some fuses, but this is actually, these fuses are for a different project. That's for my Space Duel. I gotta fix that Space Duel monitor, just sitting here in the pile. And some spares was whatnot for it. I needed a new fuse holder as well. The fuse holder that was in here was actually broken in a couple of places and just hanging on by a thread. So I'm going to replace not only the wiring in the cabinet, but I'm also going to replace all the power wiring that was in there too. I may or may not replace the power supply. It's actually pretty good. The switching power supply that's in here it's in good condition, and of course the board set will run off of it, so no complaints. Also, we'll get to this in a second. The control panels you're going to need some work, and part of that, I'm going to need to put some new bayonet base sockets in the control panels, because I don't know, a lot of people don't know this, but the Joust control panels are they light up. So it says Joust across the front, and those are backlit. So I went out and got some of these. They come in packs of 3. I needed 4, so I got 2, so I'll have some spares. And I grabbed some white LED 12-volt bulbs. So I figured, you know what? I don't want to have to go in there and change them all the time if they burn out. So I just, simple little bayonet bulbs. Nothing, bayonet socket bulbs, nothing too fancy. 12-volt. And I got a couple extra also for the Space Duel as well, and for the coin door on here, so everything looks nice and uniform. Next, I just figured, you know what? I needed some of the instruction labels, so I actually found a high quality file of this online and printed off a couple copies. Another collector I know in British Columbia, he doesn't have them on his, so I'm going to see if he wants some extras. It was no skin off my back to print off a couple. So printed those off. I'll cut them out, and after everything's said and done, I'll put them under the glass. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for my little shopping spree. I already have a few buttons floating around and whatnot. What I really need for this restore is a pair of Joust Cocktail sticks. I can't find them. They're probably the hardest part to find, other than the bezel that surrounds under the glass between the monitor. Apparently that's a pain in the ass to get too. So, but I also ended up getting some repro buttons and some repro sticks for the Joust upright. So now the sticks in the upright are actually different, like the actual shafts. From what I'm finding, apparently there's a difference between these ones and the others. I bought these just as a backup plan in case I could mod them. I don't know. It was just a thought. Some shop supplies, that kind of stuff. So one of the big problems with this Joust cabinet is going to be rebuilding the control panels. So the Muppet that had this thing converted himself saw fit to take the original Joust control panels and just cut through them. So added another buttonhole and added this big giant square where the Wiko joystick could fit in. So that I pulled out, and much to my surprise, the original artwork was still under here. Not going to use this, of course. What I'm going to end up doing is using these and building some new reproductions. Unfortunately, I can't save these. These are a little too far gone. But they're perfect for me to be able to use as a template for some repros and get some new T-molding on there. And I can order these, the artwork pieces from the States. Both of these, one of the companies down in the US makes them. And same with the coin door. Coin door is going to need a little bit of work. Nothing too fancy. Let's get the camera going here. So the coin door is pretty much good, actually, except for this credit button that was added after the fact. So I'm probably going to remove that and Bondo over the hole. And then I'm just testing out some new cam locks here. Of course, it didn't have locks. And But with the artwork kit, with the control panels, you can also get a new coin door panel, and these are backlit as well. So these will have the LEDs behind them, and you know they've got the little bayonet pieces in them already. It's a little dark, but hard to see. But so because this one's already all painted up, and I could probably save this, so I'll probably take it off and whoops, I'll probably take it off and save it. Yeah. So I already put the new red clear buttons. There was a pair of solid red buttons in here, so I already put those in there. Other than that, it's just basically time to get to work. So I'm gonna continue demolishing this other control panel and see what I can save here. Now, for the time being, until I get these reproduction panels, I figured, you know, this one's already destroyed. This one's already, you know, all cut up. I want to play the game. I want to have it ready to play so that people can actually use it until I order those panels. We're going to have some people over here in the next little bit. So I've got, this is going to sound like heresy, but I've got a bunch of Nintendo joysticks. And just so happens that I've got a couple of these Mario Brothers 2-ways. So these are just some spares floating around. So for the time being, until I order my repro panels and they finally come in, which I'm not going to order them in like this week, maybe next week, or actually I'll probably trade something for them in my board collection set, or my big board collection that I just got the other day. For the time being, I'm just going to throw another piece of clear plexi over here and then bolt these Mario Brothers joysticks in. Not the same, not ideal, will definitely get replaced, but it's just a solution for the immediate future so I can get this thing playable and I can get that Joust board set in there, and we can go back to playing Joust. Anyway, so that's the update on the Joust cabinet. We'll do an update on the Space Duel here soon. Some parts for it, its fuses and whatnot. We've got to go over that monitor, get that all looked at. I'm just glad to have this thing downstairs in the basement. And yeah, that's it for now, guys.